Do you have a replay link for one of our YouTube shows or tutorials that you want to save? Let's show you how to bookmark it, so it's always easy to revisit. Open the replay link in your browser and click the star or bookmark icon near the web address at the top of the screen. When the bookmark box appears, choose a folder like Girlfriend Tutorials or Classes. If you don't have one yet, select New Folder, give it a name, and save it. Then rename your bookmarks so you know what you're clicking on. Clear names make searching your bookmarks very simple. If you know you bookmarked something but can't find it in your folders, here's how you can search your bookmarks. Simply click All Bookmarks at the top right of your browser, then type your search in the search bar at the top. This way you can find exactly what you're looking for. Next, keep your most used bookmarks in the bar at the top of your browser so everything you need is always within easy reach. Missed something during our live show? No worries. You can watch the replay anytime. Rewind to catch what you missed, pause when you need a moment, and enjoy the show at your own pace. Hey friends, welcome to 3 Things Live. Just search My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop on YouTube, click on our channel, then select the Live tab at the top to find past shows and tutorials. Click play on the show you want to watch. The replay is available anytime you need it. To search our tutorials and clips, just click the magnifying glass on our channel page. You type what you're searching for and hit enter. You'll see all our related videos. It's that easy, helping you feel confident in finding what you need quickly with the girlfriends.
Are you subscribed to our YouTube channel? Let's walk you through it. If you are watching one of our shows, just click the subscribe button below the video. If you are using youtube.com, just search for My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop. At the top of the page, you will see a subscribe button. Click subscribe and click the little caret to the right. You will see a list of how you want to be notified of new content. If you want to be the first to know about new things, click all. When watching one of our videos, consider giving us a thumbs up by clicking this icon. It really helps us out. Now you will be notified as soon as a new video drops, and girlfriend videos will appear in your YouTube feed because you don't want to miss a thing.
Hi there. We want your girlfriend's experience to be the best it can be. Did you know that you can increase the picture quality on YouTube? Let's change the quality to 4K. That's super clear, ultra high definition video. I'll walk you through it step by step. Move your mouse over the video or tap the screen if you're on a phone or tablet, and you'll see some buttons appear. On a computer, click the little gear icon in the bottom right corner of the video. In the YouTube app for phone or tablet, tap the little gear icon in the top corner of the video. Next, click or tap the button that says Quality. This shows you the video options. Look for the one that says 2160p 4K and select it. That's the highest quality, nice and sharp. Watching in 4K uses more of your internet bandwidth and can potentially slow your connection. If you are having issues with your video, you can always go back and choose a lower video quality. That's it. Now you're watching in the best quality possible.
Hey everyone! Woohoo! Here we are again. Deja vu to many of you who were with me this morning. Kyle and I finished up a class on the mini quilt trios, which was a lot of fun. And I'm back at it. I'm back at it for our intro to machine embroidery class today. It's our first day of a week-long series. And if you're just joining us and maybe you heard about this, but you're like, what's going on? Let me introduce myself. My name's Chris, and I'm the owner of my girlfriend's quilt shop. And you know, as I was thinking about what I wanted to share this week, I kept going back to the fact that, you know, when it comes to machine embroidery, we've all started somewhere, right? We all started somewhere, and there was no way we could learn all the things all at once. And sometimes that can be a little intimidating or feel overwhelming, if you will. And I thought, you know what? I think it's time we do a class on just getting back to the basics. Back to the basics. So for many of you out there who have been embroidering for years, or even a short while, and you've already caught on to things, I want to say congratulations, because that's amazing. And I do especially want to reach out to those of you who are brand new, who are going, you know what, there is a lot that I just don't know, or there's got to be an easier way to do this, right? And I think that truly, whether you are brand new or you've been doing it for years, there's always something to learn, right? And so I know for me, I don't have all the answers either. And so I love to learn new ideas from you. So I hope that you'll take this opportunity that as we go back and forth and talk about some of these things, it is a live class, it's recorded, so you can go back and view anytime. But know that we are definitely going back to the basics. And so let's go ahead and bring up my first slide. And so basically this is going to be a PowerPoint presentation that I put together for you. And I'll go ahead, we'll walk through it together. Again, like I said, a lot of these things are going to be nothing new to you, but perhaps there might be one little thing that you'll catch that you hadn't thought of before. And we're going to do a fun giveaway throughout the week when you post your aha moments on our friends of my girlfriend's quilt shop Facebook page this week. And each day I want you to share with all of us something new you learned, or something maybe you hadn't thought about for a while. So be thinking as we go through the presentation today, what is something that you could share with everyone that was like, oh, okay, I get it now. Or, you know, that made a lot of sense to me. Because what you share is going to be something that somebody else will be able to pick up and learn from as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with our very first session. And I gotta tell you, it's not the sexiest kind of class. If you know, I know that sounds probably kind of weird, but you're going, okay, we're talking about downloading and transferring designs, right? Ugh, boring. Oh, okay, so it might be a little bit, but I hope that I can liven it up a little bit and be able to give you some analogies that might help you to think of it a little bit differently. All right, so with your permission, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Let me give you an overview of what you can expect this week. And so today, again, we're talking about, let me bring up my own notes here. Hold, please. There we go. We're talking about downloading and transferring your files, right? Simple to many, but not so simple to many as well. So hopefully I can help navigate that. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about how to hoop with success. All right, so there are some definite tips and tricks to hooping, and I'm going to share those all with you tomorrow. We're also going to be talking about how embroidery fields differ from hoop sizes, and there's some important distinctions here. Okay, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about different hoops and when to use them. On Wednesday, we're going to be talking about stabilizer basics, and I'm going to keep it fairly simple because we do have a more in-depth stabilizer class that's coming up that many of you have signed up for, and it's not too late to do so, called How to Take the Scare Out of Stabilizers. So, but there are some definite things that every beginner should know when it comes to stabilizing. So we'll talk about the what, when, why, and how. On Thursday, we're going to do some hands-on learning with going through the Choose Joy field design. And on Friday, we'll do some more hands-on learning with Hello Friend applique. So Thursday's project is all filled, and Friday's project has some applique. And again, please remember, we're staying basic, folks. We're staying very basic, but I hope that you're able to glean some insight into what I'm talking about this week, no matter where you're at with your experience level. So, first off, I want you to raise your hand, and I know you're like, okay, Chris, yeah, I can't quite do that. You can't see me. How about type it in the chat? But raise your hand if you've ever downloaded something and then you couldn't find it. Me, right here. I'm right here with you. All right. It's so true. And so we're going to talk about that today. So today isn't necessarily just about technology, but it's about understanding where your embroidery designs live. Where are they, right? Once you buy them. Because once you understand that, everything becomes so much easier. So much easier. So we'll go from there. As a little housekeeping item, this morning, you should have received this handout, and you will find it in your download library. So if you click into your account at My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop and go to your download library, and don't you worry, I will be talking about that today if you don't know where to find it, but it is 4 pages that take you step by step on where your designs are located and how to find them, and then how to get them from here to there. All right, so we'll talk about that. And my goal for this class, we'll take a look right here, is I want you to walk away with these things. This is the information. By the end of today's class, you will be able to identify common embroidery file formats and which machines brands use them, download an embroidery design from your library, locate a download file on both a Mac and a PC, copy a design file onto a USB stick and safely eject it, and then load a USB stick into the embroidery machine and confirm that the design is recognized. All right, so that's the goal. That's the goal. Now, let's talk about these designs for a minute. I want you to think about, let's call this the Great Embroidery Design Trip. If you want to think of an analogy, the best analogy I could figure out with this was that our designs are going on a trip in a little rocket ship. Ha, just kidding. But they are going on a trip, and we got to figure out where is it that they are going. A lot of us buy designs, and then we go, now what? And so the first thing, as you think about this, is I want you to compare it to a GPS. All right. And let's go right there. Okay. So with the GPS, it's like those are the files on your machine. Your embroidery machine doesn't necessarily see the snowman or the flower or the pumpkin or whatever design. It doesn't see that. What the file tells it to do is the file is saying, go here, stitch this line, change to a blue thread, stitch 500 more stitches, trim the thread, move to the spot, change to green, stitch again. Those are the things that the file is telling the machine to do. So the machine could care less what is on there. It's been digitized so that it's telling the machine, you'd go to this point A, to this point B, and so forth, right? So just like a GPS gives us turn-by-turn directions, an embroidery file gives us stitch-by-stitch directions. Okay, does that make sense so far? So as you think about that, I want you to think of, you've purchased the design, so you have booked the trip, right? I booked the trip, I purchased the design. But in order to go on that trip, I need a passport, right? My passport is the format. Is this traveler allowed to be on my machine? Right? Is the traveler allowed to be on my machine? That is the format. It's the passport. It says whether it can be on my machine or not. And so when we talk about passports, we're talking about like a language, right? So let's see. You only need the one format that your machine is asking for, all right? And every machine is different. So the design is the same, but the language changes. So a lot of times people will say, well, let's say, for example, I put in a PES format into my Bernina machine. Well, I put a format into my machine, and it's not reading it. And you want to say, what format did you use? And they go, oh, it says right here PES. Well, that's not the right passport, right? That's not the right language. That machine, that Bernina machine, is not going to pick up that as PES. Instead, it needs an EXP or an ART. So the first thing you need to know is that every machine brand is different. And so you want to find out what is the format, what is the language, what is the passport that is needed for that to be read. So I would love to know in the comments, let's take a look here. I put up a little graphic. I don't know how well you can see that, but I want you to refer to this chart and tell us in the comments, what machine do you own and what format do you use? All right, and I also have this printed on your handout. So, and if you're not sure, then what I recommend, especially, like I said, for those of you who are brand new, maybe you just bought a machine and you're like, I don't know what format it uses. Check your machine brand. I've got a chart here, but also, you know, your manual will have that. So for example, Brother and Baby Lock uses the PES file, but it's not going to read a JEF file because the JEF is for Janome. Husqvarna Viking FOF owners, the newer ones are using VP3, where the older versions are VIP. Some of them are interchangeable, right? The Husqvarna Viking also can use an HUS. If you've got a more of a commercial machine, then you're looking at DST, where Bernina might be using EXP or even EXP Plus. Okay, Bernina owners, do you know what EXP Plus means? Because it's different. It's a little bit different than an EXP. And an EXP Plus basically has 3 different formats that you copy into one over to the Bernina. So you've got the BMP file and the INF file in addition to the EXP file. Bernina owners, you know what I'm talking about. And all those files are transferred over together so that they can read the different information that is provided for them. The colors, the color charts, and it can read other stop points and information that's important. So EXP Plus is the way you want to go. Singers are using XXX, and the older FOFs would be a PCS, but it's mostly replaced by VP3. So I'm seeing lots of different people using lots of different machines and lots of different formats. So therefore we have lots of different passports, right? So just know that that's one of the first steps, is you've got to know what format your machine uses. Okay. Let me make sure I've covered everything on that end. All right, so we booked the trip, right? Which means we purchased the design. We've got our passport, which means we're allowing this traveler onto our machine because we have the correct format. The next thing I want to talk about is we need to be able to find the machine, right? So the traveler needs to arrive to our computer, but how do we get it to our computer? Well, let's talk about that. There's 3 steps. And here I'm referring obviously to our website, but the same principles apply to no matter where you purchase your design from, okay? So think about it in 3 easy steps. We've got, let's go back one. There we go. So you're gonna go to our website, mygirlfriendsquiltshop.com. You'll log into your account, and then you click on Access Your MGQS Digital Library. Okay, so let's go ahead and move next. All right, so I'm gonna briefly talk you through where are you finding all this information? Well, first off, if you log into mygirlfriendsquiltshop.com, you're gonna see up at the top where it has the account. Okay, let me grab out of something. There we go. All right, so you see it up at the top right? You're gonna click on account, and then it'll come to a screen that says login. And this is where you're gonna simply put in your email and your password. Now, don't worry if you've forgotten your password, it's okay, right? Because there's a little thing that says forgot your password, and it will take you through the steps on how to retrieve that. Or you can always help, customer care is always willing to help you figure that out as well. In fact, they are pros at it. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna log in, and then the next screen is exactly where you find it. It says My Account, and boom, bada bang, look at that. It says Access Your MGQS Digital Library. So again, even though I'm using this as the example, you're gonna find basically the same procedure no matter where you're purchasing your designs from. So that's one of the first things. If you're purchasing it from kimberbell.com, there's a couple of extra steps involved because you're putting in like a downloadable code, right? A redeemable code, and then it'll go from there. But just when you do this, I want you to take a deep breath, especially if this is something that's brand new to you. And you say, I got this. Everything's figure outable. I can do this, and if I can't figure it out, there's someone I can call. Oh, look at the hearts that Abby put on, because we love you, and we want you to have the most success in being able to find these things. All right, so just know that you're not alone, but this is where you're gonna find it. So let's go ahead and click on that, and then for my example today, this one may or may not be in your library, because depending on if you've purchased this design before, but we're using this as an example. So let's say I was looking for my pumpkin spice latte bag tag, right? And I can scroll through and there will be pages of designs that I have purchased from MGQS, and this is where I can find them, all right? So you're gonna just click on that. Then after that, this is where it gets a little spicy, if you will. All right, because we need to figure out where has the traveler been to. Again, how many of you have downloaded a design, purchased a design, downloaded it, and said, now what? I don't know where it's at, right? So let's go through this, because I'm going to introduce to you that once you get there, you gotta go to baggage claim, right? You gotta get it.
You got to open up the suitcase, which I'm talking about zip files. For those of you who are familiar with zip files, you got to open up the suitcase, and then you need to get it onto a USB stick, right? So that's the shuttle bus is going to take you, and it's going to carry the design to your machine. How do you do that? All right. So let's go through that. And it is different whether you are a Mac user or a PC user. So tell us in the comments what computer are you mostly using? And this will be a curious thing for me to find out. Do we have mostly Mac users in the audience, or do we have mostly PC? Now, me personally, I'm a Mac user, and so I've had to retrain my brain a little bit in preparing for today's class, because I knew that I would go awry if I was just going off the Mac. In fact, I'm seeing, oh my goodness, most of you are PC. Holy smokes, aren't you glad I did my research? Because I would have just done Mac, and I thought, oh, wait a minute, Chris. I bet we have a lot of PC users, so no worries. I did my research, and I've got some answers for you as well. All right. Wow, we have a lot of PC users, Abby, which is great. So we've got Macs and we have PC users. All right, so let's go through how this is done. And I will do my very best. Again, if this is something brand new to you, please remember, it's all recorded. You can go back and guess what else I did? Screenshots of your computer and circled them and told you exactly where to go next. So if you find this to be helpful, you may want to have this right beside your machine, at least the first few times while you're trying to get the hang of it, right? You know, and then you go, oh, okay, that's what I do next. Oh, yes, okay, that's what I do next. All right, so where did the design go? So if you take a look at the screen here, let's bring this up. We're going on a trip. Mac users, there's going to be a little finder, and I want you to look at if you're at a computer right now, I want you to look and see where this little icon is when I talk about it, all right? So Mac users first, you're gonna do the finder on the dock, which is down the bottom. It's that little smiley face. Do you guys see the little smiley face in the bottom left-hand corner? That's where you're gonna find it, all right? So when you click on that, you can, let me bring that up in front of me. I'm gonna click on downloads. Okay, do it with me. For those of you who are on Macs, you're gonna click on downloads. We'll do this together. Again, I've got step-by-step photos for you on your handout today. You're gonna click on downloads, and then that's where you're searching for your downloads. Now, you can search it by name, but sometimes the easiest way is just to search by date. Now, for me on my computer, whatever I last downloaded will be at the very top. But if for some reason it's not at the very top, then just go ahead and just search by date, right? And it will come to the very top. Now, when you do that, it's going to save a zip folder. And for today's purpose of my analogy of being on a trip, we're gonna call that zip folder a suitcase. All right, that's why you see a little picture of a suitcase there. This is probably the part that gets people hung up the most. That we get the most customer care calls is, I don't know how to retrieve my design from something that is zipped. So if you think about this suitcase having a zipper, we need to somehow open up the suitcase, all right? So for Mac users, all you have to do is do a double click, and it's gonna magically pop the suitcase open, and you're gonna find your file, and you're gonna drag it onto your USB stick. Now, where did your USB stick go? Well, you would have put it in your computer. Now, Mac owners, you might need one of these babies, all right? This is the little, what do they call these, Abby? Converters, like a converter. or a dongle or something. You know, there's different names for this. But if you have a Mac like I do, it doesn't have a USB port. So you got to have one of these, and then you stick this in there. When you put it in, boom, bada bang, this is going to show up on your desktop. All you have to do is take that design, click on it, and drag it over top. And now it's found on here. Okay, this is on the bus. And the bus is going to head over to the machine here in just a moment. All right? But that's all we have to do. Now, we also have to safely eject this. Okay, we have to eject the bus from my computer, right? We don't want to just kick the person off the bus while it's driving. So you got to safely eject it. Okay, so what you can do is you can just drag on this and pull it down to your trash, and it's safely ejected. Okay, so there's one way. Again, there's several ways of doing this, depending on your machine and depending on how you feel comfortable, right? So there's always more than one way to do it. I've tried to come up with the easiest, most straightforward way of showing you. Let's talk to PC users for a moment. Oh, Judy is asking about scan and cut format. I will talk about that in a moment. Abby, will you remind me if I forget? Awesome. Okay, because I can talk about that, because scan and cut, you do not have to, it doesn't have to be just for brother owners. Any person out there can use a scan and cut, and I'll tell you why here in just a moment. Okay, PC, yours is very similar, but a little bit different, okay? So what you are gonna do is you're gonna open up the file that's found in the taskbar, okay? There's a little file folder. So PC users, I want you to take a moment and let's find that together, all right? Let me find where my notes are here. All right, so you're going to File Explorer. So go down to the very bottom and you're gonna see a little folder. And if you click on that, it's going to say Open File Explorer. And so you click on that, right? Now on the left-hand side of your taskbar, there will be something that says Downloads, okay? All right, so you've got Downloads. Now, you find the download, it's going to now put it in a suitcase, a zipped folder. How do you get that open? Well, there's a couple different ways. One, for a lot of PC owners, you can, it didn't used to be this way, but you can double click on it and it will open it up just like we did on a Mac. But if it doesn't double click, then what you could do is you could, sorry, little phone mishap there. Then you can right mouse click that and you just hit Extract All. And then now it will unzip your suitcase, okay? So that's how you do it. You're gonna insert the USB stick again into your PC, and you're gonna find it under this PC, and then again, you can either copy and paste that design onto your USB stick, or you can drag and drop, whichever way you feel most comfortable to do it. All right, so that's for PC owners. Again, if a lot of that just went over your head, don't you worry. We've got handouts, again, with screenshots. I had to borrow a PC computer from my son-in-law so I could do that because we don't have PCs. And so I was like, hey, Ryan, could I borrow that PC? And it was great, and I was able to do that. So it's done a little bit differently, but it's basically the same step. All right, so that's in a nutshell how we're getting from the design, from being able to, we've booked the trip, we've got the passport, we figured it out. So we now know how to unzip the suitcase. We got it from baggage claim, all the things, right? Okay, let's see. So what basically is happening is your embroidery file is not lost. It's not lost. It just has an address, and we just need to know how to get it from point A to point B. We need to know how to find the address of where it's located. All right, let's go over real quickly some common beginner mistakes. Okay, these are the things that I have discovered over the years that not only I've done, but I've seen others do, and people will call in with questions, and we're always happy to help, like I said. But if you do not find your file, you're going, I know I bought it, I know it's somewhere, it's off in La La Land, I don't know where it is. Here are the troubleshooting points I want you to think about. Are you ready? All right. Number one, copying the zip file instead of the embroidery file. I see this happen so many times where someone has taken the zip file and they drag it onto their USB stick and then they go, nothing's opening. Well, it's because we got to unzip the suitcase first, right? We got to unzip it. So you got to just grab the file format. It'd be kind of crazy to try and download all the formats because your machine's only going to read one, right? So don't download all 7 of them. Just download one. Just the right passport to get to your destination. All right? So with that being said, you've got to unzip the file. So before you move it to a USB stick, again, probably the number one problem I see is people have moved the zip folder over to the USB. Do not do that. You want to download the file by itself. Number 2 beginner mistake is that we choose the wrong file format. Something we're okay, are we good now? Sound good? Okay, I think that's okay. Okay, so I think we should be good now. So Cheryl has a great question. I'm so glad you asked. She said, after extracting all files onto a PC, I get 2 files listed. What do you do with the zip file? Okay, that is a great question. What do I do with the suitcase? You know what? I toss it in the trash. That's what I do. I just move it down to my trash can because I don't need the zip file anymore. Now, if you feel better about having the zip file with all of the formats on your computer, that's totally fine, right? But you don't have to keep it because now the folder has been opened. Now you have all of your designs in the folder. So you can either put it in the trash, drag it down to the trash, or you could keep it. Does that help answer that, Cheryl? That was a great, great question. Okay, Wayne is saying for PC users, if you see a zipper on your file folder, you will know that the file hasn't been unzipped. The suitcase has not been opened to get to your files. That's exactly right. Boom, 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 bing, 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 bong, 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 boom, boom, boom. You're exactly right. If you see that file that has a zip on it, he's exactly right. It hasn't been unzipped. So that's where you have to either double click it or right mouse click it, and then a little drop-down menu will come and you say extract all files. Okay, that's how you unzip your folder. Okay, so again, you can save the zip file. You don't have to save the zip file. Sherry said, I saved mine in good thing because I bought a different machine. Yes, now, Sherry, you're absolutely right. But you wouldn't have to have a zip file in order to do that. You could still keep the folder that has all the formats in it. I would never get rid of all my formats. Okay, I would keep them because, yeah, what if I decided one day I wanted to get a new machine that asked for a different passport, right? a different file format. Then I go, oh, phew, I'm glad I saved all my formats because now I can still use it, right? Now, there are going to be some places online that you only get to choose one file format. We don't do that. And most people don't do that, but there are some where you have to make a selection as to what format you want. So, but if you could get all the file formats for the same price, I would save them all. But it doesn't necessarily have to be in a zipped suitcase, okay? Great comment. Okay, so choosing the wrong file format is another beginner mistake. How about putting folders inside of folders? Oh my goodness, that's a recipe for disaster. I know it's here somewhere. Somewhere. It's got to be here somewhere, right? Just try to keep it as clean and as simple and as straightforward as possible, okay? Forgetting to unzip, okay? I think we've covered that pretty well, but again, I see it all the time. We forget to unzip, and that's where we can't find it, right? Removing the USB without ejecting. Is it going to ruin your computer? No, not necessarily. Is it going to ruin your USB? It might cause some issues, right? Just get into the habit of safely ejecting your USB stick. And again, a PC owner, I've got your step outs right here, but there's a little arrow at the very bottom of your computer. And when you hit that arrow, it will say safely eject hardware. And you go, yep, that's what I want to do. Boom. And it says now something like now safe to eject. Perfect. Good. Do that, right? Question. Do you have to safely eject your USB from your embroidery machine? No. You can take it out at any time. It's just from your computer that you have to do that. All right? Okay. Mac users, to safely eject it, you just got to click on it and drag it down to your trash. That's it. Okay? And then a common beginner mistake might be buying a design in the wrong format. Okay? Again, when you buy our designs, we give you all the formats. Many places do, but there's still some places out there that make you choose one. I would hope that if that was a place that you bought your designs and you immediately noticed, oh man, I bought the VP3 file and I needed a JEF file, I would imagine the right thing to do for a company would be just if you wrote them to say, hey, I accidentally downloaded the wrong file, they would just send it to you. I can't say for everyone, but certainly that's what I would do as a business owner. Makes sense because mistakes happen, right? Sometimes that happens. Okay, so we're about done. And I hope you've learned something. So there's a few things I want to ask you to put in the comments as we check for understanding. All right, this is what this class is all about. Is we're just kind of taking little bite-sized chunks of machine embroidery, and we're trying to figure out some of these things that are exciting and not so exciting. Downloading and unzipping files, not that exciting, but very important, very important. So first one, I think we've already covered this one, but I put in here, what file format does your machine use and what brand is it? Don't worry about answering that because I know so many of you already have in the chat. If you didn't earlier, go ahead and make a comment and let us know. What format do you use? What machine are you using? It might be interesting, especially for someone who's brand new, they might go, oh, somebody else has that brand and I have that brand and I didn't realize that was the format I'm supposed to be using. So good information. All right, how about this question? Answer this for me. What's the difference between the downloads folder and the USB stick? What's the difference between the downloads folder and the USB stick? Because sometimes people might think, well, I purchased the design, I downloaded the design, why am I not seeing it on my computer? Well, why aren't you? Okay, now, some machines will also take, while I'm waiting for your answer there, I will share this with you too. Some machines will allow you to actually hook your computer directly to your machine, which is awesome too, especially if you've got like a laptop and you're easy, you know, you can take it with you, then that's great. But yeah, Sarah Ann, exactly. The USB stick is portable. It's portable. Now, some of you might also have machines that can transfer wirelessly, and you can get rid of the USB stick, which is really nice too, right? So you got to know how to wirelessly transfer your designs. Now, let me think. PC owners, you can, if you are a Baby Lock or Brother, and I'm sorry, I don't know on the other brands, but if you are a Baby Lock or Brother owner, you can do what's called design database transfer. And if you go to Baby Lock or Brother's website, you can search for that, download it. It's a downloadable like software that will allow you to transfer things wirelessly, which is pretty awesome. If you have software, a lot of softwares can transfer wirelessly. But if you're not sure or you don't want to mess with wireless, just use a USB stick. It's fantastic, and it's not that hard. But you're right. If you said something to the effect that, you know, downloads is where it's saved, but it's only saved on your computer, you are absolutely right. Downloads is not saved on your embroidery machine, okay? How about this question? Why might a zip file need an extra step before you can use it? And how do you unzip it? That's probably the thing we covered the most today. So what would you say the answer is to that? Why might a zip file need an extra step before you can use it? And how do you do it? How do you unzip it? Okay, PC users, it might be a little different than Mac users. All right. Yeah, Design Connect, Regina said for hers where she can do it wirelessly. Yep, CM17, you can do it wirelessly. Yeah, if you've got a machine that will allow you to do it wirelessly, oh, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But it's not available on all machines. Okay, so unzipping it opens it up. You're absolutely right. You guys got it. You guys got it. You're going to double click and unzip it because your machine cannot read the zip file. You're absolutely right, Regina. It cannot read a zip file. So that, again, is going to be one of those things that's going to hold you back, and you're going to be frustrated more than anything because you're like, I got the design. I'm putting it on. No, if you don't unzip that suitcase, it ain't going anywhere. All right? So you got to unzip it. The reason why it's zipped together, and this is neither here nor there, but just as a little background information, is that when all these designs come into one folder, we will usually compress it. We'll compress that folder so that they all stay together as one, and it's a smaller file size for transporting. Okay, so that's why they're zipped in the first place, because it keeps them all together as one, but you gotta unzip it in order to get it now to your machine. Okay, okay, here's another thing. So have you ever gotten a mattress in the mail? Have you ever gotten and it comes in this like really tight, like thing, you know? It's almost like those Kimberbell pillows, right? And they're like vacuum packed and they're really tight and sealed. And then you open it up and, you know? Well, that's exactly like the suitcase, right? You're packing that suitcase as tight as you can. And then once you unzip it, that folder becomes open. Now you're able to extract what you need, okay? All right, so, you guys, great answers I'm seeing in the comments. Really, really good answers. So good job. Yeah, a zip is too much information, Sherry said. Yeah, it is. You gotta whittle it down a little bit so you can just pull what you need, right? Okay, now, last question. What happens if you load the wrong file format onto your machine? Well, the sky is falling, folks. If you do that, that's it. You're done. You're toast. No, The world is not coming to an end. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. It will be fine. All you have to do is be like, just learned something. I grabbed the wrong file format. I grabbed the wrong passport. I can't get into the country, right? You know what I'm saying? You have to have the right information for this to read. So Sarah Ann, machine can't read the wrong format. And so that's what happens oftentimes, is when I get questions like this, one of my first things is, we'll sometimes get questions through customer care, and they'll pass on a question to me, and my number one question is, what machine do you have? What file format are you using? And so many times it's like, oh, yeah, that's what it was. And that's okay. I don't want you to feel like you're crazy or that was a really dumb thing to do, because it happens to all of us. It really does. Even if you've been embroidering for years, you just, you grabbed the wrong file format. It's fine. You're still a good person. All right. Let me see if there is anything else I want to cover for today. I do have some quick troubleshooting things on here as well that helps to remind you of certain things. How about, have you ever had my USB won't eject? I've had that happen before. It's usually because I am working in that program that the USB is working on, and it's saying, I'm still working. So you got to close down, whatever program you're working on in order to eject it. So hopefully that has helped. Again, I've broken it down into steps. I've got pictures here for you. I want you, especially those of you who are brand new, download this, print it, keep it by your machine, keep it by your computer, and refer to it when you need to. Okay? Again, once you do this a few times, it's going to become old hat. You're going to be like, oh, I know how to do this, no problem. But yeah, I mean, that's what it's there for. If you know somebody who is brand new to machine embroidery or having trouble, I would invite you to let them know about this class so that they can get these downloads as well. All right, and they can print these out and be able to have a successful experience. There is nothing more frustrating than being so excited about a new embroidery machine, and then you're like, I made the biggest mistake because I don't know what I'm doing, right? No, you do know what you're doing. And if you don't, you can learn what you're doing. And that's what we're here, not only as My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop, but as a community, right? Ask those questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question. I know that's kind of cliche, but it's true. There really isn't. Because guaranteed, if you've got that question, I bet a dozen others have the same one too. So don't ever be afraid to ask. Now, somebody had a good question, and we've got lots of comments going through. I love it. But somebody was asking about, does the size of your USB stick matter? Yes, that's a great question, Cindy. It kind of depends on your machine, all right? So this might be something you would refer to your owner's manual for to make certain. I know that there's a lot of machines, if you've got a USB stick that is bigger than 2 gig, it's not gonna read it, right? So just make sure that, that would be one of those troubleshooting things that you could go, wonder how big this USB stick is that I bought. And if it's not pulling up on your computer there or on your machine, there might be a reason why, and that might be one of the reasons, okay? So I want you to enjoy this great, grand embroidery trip that you're taking. Remember that, as you go, there are certain parts of the journey that you have to know and in order to get from destination A to destination B, all right? And then from there, it's smooth sailing, right? As we like to say. So with that being said, If you did not sign up for this class and you would like the downloads, because every morning you're going to receive a new handout that will go over what we're talking about that day in class. So you can print it out, you can follow along, you can take notes. But if you are seeing this class and you're like, where can I get all this information, or where can I get my 2 free designs? Head to our website, mygirlfriendsquiltshoppe.com, and just type in intro to Machine Embroidery, okay? And click on that, sign up, it's absolutely free. And that will get you in, that will allow you to have all these downloads absolutely free in your download library. And then you can refer to it at any time. If you are just getting into this class and go, oh, I missed the first half, don't you worry, it's all recorded. You can find it on our Facebook page for up to 30 days. Facebook has a limit of how long it can stay up, but our YouTube channel has it forever. It's endless. So you can check it out there as well. Tomorrow we're going to be talking, let's talk about the rest of the week, because I got some homework for you. It's not hard homework, but let's take a look. So the date due tomorrow. I want you to, if you have an embroidery machine, I know some of you may not have an embroidery machine yet, but if you do, I want you to pull out all the hoops you own, okay? Because we're going to talk about hoops tomorrow and proper hooping techniques. So I want you to pull those out for tomorrow. On Wednesday, before Wednesday's class, I want you to pull out all the stabilizers you own. I know that's kind of scary. I've got my friend Nanette here who's like, oh my gosh, Chris, no. Just take an accounting of what you have, okay? And then you can kind of get an idea. So when we start talking about stabilizers, you can do that. And then on Thursday, I want you to locate both class designs, which you will receive before then. But I want you to locate them from your MGQS library and place on a USB stick or transfer wirelessly, whatever, and decide on what projects you want to stitch your designs onto. If you don't want to stitch along with us, it's totally fine. You don't have to. You can just watch and stitch later. These are designs that are not meant to be on a particular project. It's more meant to be like, oh, this would be cute on a tea towel, or I can make this into a little pillow, or I'm going to make this on a handbag, or whatever. But if there's something in particular, you know, have that out by Thursday, because on Thursday and Friday we're going to be stitching at the machine. But tomorrow and the next day we are just right here, right where we're at, and we'll go through this step by step. So the final thing I just want to remind you, I alluded to this earlier, but I want you to share today's aha moment on our Friends of My Girlfriend's Facebook page. And it will enter you to win a free MGQS design set of your choice. We've got some cute new designs coming out, folks. I'm super excited. So, in fact, I'll remind some of you were with me earlier today, but tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, we're going to be doing a special download sale on Facebook as well as our app. And we've got some brand new designs that I am really excited about. So I hope you'll plan on joining me for that. But you could win a free set of your choice, and we'll do this every day. And I'm going to choose a winner every day to win this set. But because I know some of you watch it later, then we'll choose additional winners at the end of the week from throughout the shows this week. So again, same place, same time tomorrow, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, right here on Facebook or YouTube. And if you know somebody who might be interested in what we're sharing, I would be so grateful if you let them know about it. All right, guys, I will also go back through comments later on today. I am headed over to galas right now, so excited for that. But later on tonight, I'll go through some questions and answer in the comments as well. Again, our whole goal here at My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop is to set you up for success. And the best way to do that is to be able to offer as much education as possible so that you can be rewarded with the best projects out there that you are certainly to be proud of. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.